Big thank you to Future Friends Games for providing a key to Europa. Play as an android named Z who sets out in search for answers on the moon Europa, a lush, terraformed paradise in Jupiter's shadow. In this Ghibli-inspired narrative game, run, glide, and fly through the remains of a ruined utopia and discover the story of the last human alive. Europa is available now on Steam and Nintendo Switch. Links to the game will be down below. Europa is a gorgeous game that is clearly very much inspired by Ghibli Studio movies. This is a short game, but it has meaning and it tells a story about what happens to the last human alive. It is very cinematic from the very start, like the credits will roll and you're playing through, and it's very much like an experience where you're watching a movie, but you're interacting with it, and it's just very beautiful and very memorable at the same time. You find little notes that are written all around the world, and you learn more about the last human and exactly what transpired on Europa previously, and it's really interesting. So try to collect all of the ones you can find. The traversal in this game is very smooth. You are running and gliding and flying around, and I didn't notice this to be very clunky at all. I did notice sometimes my clicks weren't being registered on my PC. It could be by mouse, but it was happening pretty consistently. So that was something I did notice, but other than that, everything was really nice and smooth. Like when you were actually, everything was working and I was traversing. It was so nice, and it's just such a beautiful landscape to be traversing through that there were so many interesting things you could look around in each section of the map. It's not necessarily open world. You do go to each section and complete puzzles in those areas. You can do a lot of different collecting of different items. So definitely make sure you look around when you get to each area and take your time exploring them. The game took me about 3 hours to complete, so it's not a super long game, but it's definitely a very nice experience. Games don't have to be super long to be captivating and interesting, and sometimes you don't have a lot of time to play a bunch of 15-hour, 20, 30, 50-hour games. So those smaller games are experiences I really cherish and really enjoy getting to experience. So if you don't have a ton of time, but you like to experience short stories that are impactful and very beautiful games and supporting indie games, then definitely check this one out. If you go for a full completionist run, you will probably play for a lot longer than I did. I wasn't able to find and collect absolutely everything. There were some things that I didn't collect, so definitely take your time. I think if you take your time, you'll probably run about 6 hours, I would say, maybe double what I did, maybe 5 more. So it will take you a bit longer if you want to complete and grab everything on your way through the map. There are 2 modes in Europa that you can play through. One mode, you can have enemies attack you. There aren't too many. It's not a combat game. There actually really isn't any combat. They do log onto you and sometimes try to attack you, but you can calm them down, or there are mechanisms you can find to kind of stop the enemy. I don't want to give away too much about the game, but definitely that's something you can do, so you can prevent the attacks fairly easily, and it's not like a combat heavy game in any way. There's also a second mode where the enemies never attack you, so you can just run around, be very zen and chill, and just relax while exploring the map. So either way that you prefer to play, it doesn't change the game or the story in any way. It just depends on if you want to try and do the puzzles with the enemies or not, and it's totally up to you. And it's always great when games give you more options and ways to play, because not everyone plays games the same, and it doesn't take away from either mode, like of the story. Like, you're still going to play the same great game. You can also stop to sketch different creatures. This is a part of the collectibles, so definitely when you see a lot of creatures or something very beautiful and interesting, definitely go up to it, because you will probably get prompted to do a little sketch in your sketchbook. You just hold down a button and the character Z will sketch what he sees. So definitely make sure you do that. It's really nice to look back at them towards the end of the game and kind of remember all the cool things that you saw. And the designs of these creatures are really nice. Some of them you don't get to see up close because maybe they're zipping by or they're maybe smaller. So it's definitely really cool to get to see these designs of these creatures when you are supposedly sketching them out. I found the story to be very interesting. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to spoil it at all. It's very story heavy, so there's not much more that I can really say about the game other than its sound design, music, everything, visual, artistry was just gorgeous, beautiful, and really lended to a relaxing time. There's some platforming puzzles. They weren't really too hard. There was maybe one or two towards the end that I found difficult, but I was also playing quite late at night, so I might have just been tired. So just, take your time to complete them, but they weren't super, super hard. And it was a really nice, relaxing kind of game to play through. And like I said, I did enjoy the story. I enjoyed finding the notes to kind of learn more about that last human that I mentioned earlier. And it was just really interesting. And it was a nice condensed experience that I really, really enjoyed. This game is verified for Steam Deck, and like I mentioned, it's also on the Nintendo Switch. So you can bring this game on both those platforms anywhere that you want. For Steam Deck, it is verified, like I mentioned, so you can go ahead and play it wherever you would like. It's a lot of fun. I did play it a little bit on there, but I did play, especially because it was a bit shorter, a lot of it just in one sitting. So I did test it out though, and it worked fine on the Steam Deck on its default settings. So you can play it wherever you want. You can take the Moon of Europa anywhere you want with you. So this game looks interesting to you. Definitely check it out. Give it a try. It's short and sweet, like I mentioned. It's so cute and definitely a lovely game. And I really am excited to see what comes next from the studio that worked on it, because it is so interesting and I really like the style. I'd love to see more games in this style. And it was just so beautiful and just a nice experience, a nice little package to get to experience. Big thank you again to Future Friend Games for sending a key for Europa. I'm so grateful that I got to check it out and share it here with all of you, my community. So definitely leave a like on this video, share the video so more people can get to know about the game and check it out. If you think someone might enjoy it, definitely share it with them. And I appreciate all the support that you, my community, gives me to get these opportunities. And again, big shout out to Future Friends Games for sending a key over. I really appreciate any support in this channel, and we've been getting a ton of support on this channel, and just being able to do live streams and review videos, and I'm just so grateful. And it's really what I am loving doing, honestly. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you all so much for your support, and I will see you all in the next video. We got a lot more streams coming up, so you can check those out on the homepage if you want to join live or watch the VOD. We got dedicated VOD watchers on this channel, so join them, check out the VODs. There's always a bunch of stuff going on that side, and there will be more review videos almost every week. I have one out now, so definitely stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay safe, hug your loved ones, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!